is no God. La ilaha illallah. You say it with intent. Say it with attention. Slow yourself down and say it aloud. Because it is in the vibration of the sound that you are generating with your voice that there is power. There is power. So Allah, I say here, let me see what I call Allah Ta'ala fi kitabihi fi Surah Al-Isra. Okay, in Surah 17, Allah has said, وَنُنَزِّلُ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ مَا هُوَ شِفَاءٌ وَرَحْمَةٌ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ. وَنُنَزِّلُ, we repeatedly send down from the Quran, from this exalted recitation, what has healing, وَرَحْمَةٌ, and mercy لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ, for those who believe, who have faith. So, when Allah Ta'ala talks about the healing embedded in our tradition, in our book, in our recitation, He uses the word Quran. Quran is the vocal aspect of the revelation. Kitab is the written. You know, kitab is the print, ink on paper. That's what kitab is. It's a written document. But Quran is the spoken. And when Allah speaks about the healing embedded in Islam, it is the Quran, it is the spoken. So when you're going to use these things for healing, do it aloud. Let the vibration of your voice, using the letters and the words of Allah Ta'ala, affect you, affect your inner self. It is from a book that's called The Spiritual Cure that is exclusively devoted to the Fatiha. It says the opening of the book is a cure for every poison. Know that the Quran is a cure for every illness. Allah made the verses of his book with a marvelous language, which is understood by the cells. This is very powerful. Allah made the verses of his book, the ayat of his book, with a marvelous language which is understood by the cells. When Allah's words fall upon afflicted cells or diseased cells, which are weary and diseased, they are stimulated, new life returns to them, and they become more able to resist illness. This is why reciting verses upon particular diseases can heal by the permission of Allah. Allah said, وَنُنَزِّلُ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ مَا هُوَ شِفَاءٌ وَرَحْمَةٌ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Allah said that He continually, repeatedly sends through this recitation what is healing and mercy. So why is every single Muslim not using this Quran to heal? I don't know. Instinctively, some things will happen. It used to be when I was emotionally overwhelmed, distraught, and didn't know what else to do, I would lay on the floor, stretch my arms out because I didn't want anything to touch me, not even my own hands. And I would put the Quran on, and I would listen, and I would fall asleep. And when I woke up, I was better. The cells understand the words of Allah. And this has been proven. There was a scientific study done back in the 80s. Al-Qadi, down in Panama City, Florida. He's rahimahullah because he's passed on. But he did a study. And he's a doctor. Dr. Ahmed Al-Qadi was a medical doctor. And he took the three groups, you're going to do a science thing, you got to have your control groups. So he had the Muslims who spoke Arabic, understood Quran and believed in it, because every Arab doesn't believe. You know, we got Christian Arabs, Hindu Arabs, whatever. So Arabs who were Muslim, they believed in the Quran, they understood it. Muslims who believed in the Quran but didn't understand it. And then non-Muslims who neither believed in it nor understood it. 3 different groups. Had them all, he tested their blood first. Took blood samples, tested their blood, had them all listen to the same thing. Checked the blood again. Every single group had a reaction. The Muslims who understood and believed had the greatest increase in their white blood cells and their immune systems were stronger. The next group, second, in terms of the benefits. The third group, less, but still a benefit. So question, why are these people who don't believe in the Quran, don't understand it, why are they getting a benefit in their immune system, in their cells, in their blood? Conclusion, created matter recognizes the words of the Creator. Created matter recognizes the words of the Creator and will respond to the words of the Creator, whether you consciously are aware of that or whether you consciously accept that or not. But we who know, we should be using these things for our own benefit. We can say that the Quran has a cure for all diseases, regardless of whether it is psychological, physical, whether it is the spells of the shaitan, the satanic touching or presence of shaitan, because Allah, in speaking about the healing of the Quran, has not limited the healing except saying that it's for the believers. He didn't say, oh, this is only for what's in your heart, or this is only for what's in your mind, or this is... He didn't limit it. He said, نُنَزِّلُ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ مَا هُوَ شِفَاءٌ. Period. I put healing into this Quran. That's Surah 17. But then in Surah Fussilat, in Surah 41, it says, قُلْ هُوَ لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا هُدْنًا وَالشِّفَاءٌ. Say that he, meaning the Quran, is for those who believe, guidance and healing. It's a general thing. It's not limited. It's a holistic healing. It will benefit you in whatever problem you have. So it says that in every ayah of the Quran, this again is from some from this book, Gift of Healing, and some from the Spiritual Cure, which I didn't bring, which is devoted to sort of the Fatiha only. It says, in every verse of the Quran, Allah Ta'ala has put a hidden language that can remove illness by His permission. Every letter has multiple benefits. Every word has many benefits. So every ayah has so many benefits we don't even know. It says, your body is most responsive to your own voice. And the research shows that our own voices are most effective in healing us. And that, I think, came from this particular book. So that's the best thing that we can use, is our own voices reciting Quran. However, if you don't recite Quran, you don't have the ability to recite Quran, the very least that you should do is like what I said I used to do when I was just emotionally overwhelmed. Just listen. Just listen, because you will recognize in that study, the inner self recognized the words of Allah Ta'ala and there was benefit. And just because I don't feel anything, that's because your conscious intelligence is lower than your inner intelligence. You know, so just understand that too, that we have a higher intelligence existing within us that is greater than our consciousness, because our consciousness has been affected by many other things in this world. So we should be using that, the Quran first, and being aware of, you know, the effect of different letters and words upon our physical bodies. But Allah Ta'ala has given us other things, like we use herbs, we use food, we use, you know, different things, and all of these things should come before prescription chemical medicines. So this, what I'm just going to sort of demonstrate for you today is something relatively new when we talk about, healing sounds being over 2,000 years old, and that's only in the Chinese system, and older than that if you think about Islam and the Prophet Adam and all of the prophets and believers that, existing from the beginning of humanity. So let's say that this is relatively, it was developed because the people that developed this believe that inside of us there are crystalline structures, and that the crystal bowls in their sound can affect the crystalline structures within our body. Now, it is said that the sounds from the crystal bowls will affect your the inner cells, while the Tibetan bowls, which are brass, and I forgot to bring them today, the brass bowls will affect your muscles more, so help to relax your muscles, which is why they're used to prepare people for meditation. But these bowls, and there are, I only have these three because they can get very expensive, and I'm not making a career out of this, so I didn't order all of them. Just these three cost me over $200, we'll put it that way, so. But there are many, but they're designed to vibrate to these major energy centers that I mentioned. And so that if you use these sounds, they do what is called a sound bath. And so what people do is just sit, relax, begin to deep breathe, and close their eyes and just open themselves to sound. And then the sound bath therapists will use different things, chimes and these bowls and Tibetan bowls and different things to create different sounds, and these sounds are designed to vibrate to different organs in the body. So I'm just going to do a brief demonstration. It says that the bowls, not necessarily the crystal bowls, but the Tibetan bowls have been around for 3,000 years. And they always prior were made of metals, but these are made from quartz crystal, because like I said, they believe that we have crystal structures within our bodies that will respond to this. So I'm just going to give you some, like a brief example of this, and I'm not, like a skilled technician or anything, but it's relatively new to me. So this particular bowl is designed to vibrate to what's called your root chakra. And what's interesting about that root chakra is the lowest one, is that the sound is lam, which relates very much to our Islamic system. Some years ago I did a retreat. In fact, I've done this retreat several times, steps on the journey of La. La, if you know Arabic, means no. So, and it also is the first word in our kalima, La ilaha illallah. So I did a whole weekend, steps on the journey of La, because life to me is being able to reject, to push away the negative, to clear the space so that you can move into positivity and move forward. And you have to learn to recognize what you need to reject. And you can't get to the end of our kalima, illallah, without going through the la ilaha, right? You have to pass through that negative to get to the positive. So that's why I did that. So that's the interesting thing about this particular sound, is that it relates, you can see where you feel it vibrating, to that root chakra, whose sound is lam. questions, comments?
What was the sound we were trying to,
So these relate to your energy, well, 3 of your energy centers. You've got 7, I didn't get 7. But anyway, this one is the root chakra, this one is your heart, and this one is your intuitive point, third eye. So
the first one you said is which
your
chakra?
root chakra, which
Root
is
chakra.
at the base,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
underneath. Basically, the reproductive area, like, women, men.
And it's 7 of them.
Hmm?
There's 7
Well,
chakras.
this is the bottom one, this is 1, and this is 5, and this is 6. No, this is, because heart, so it's root, sacral, solar plexus, then heart. So this is 4, and then this is 6, and then the crown is 7. There's a throat in between. So this is 4, and then there's the 5th one is in your throat, and then. So what happens is as this is vibrating again, that vibration generates those centers where those nerves are intersecting, and then that energy goes out to the organs that are related to those areas and begins to generate healing. And Allah, I consider these halal because it's percussion and it's just sound. And sound, as I said, sound is ubiquitous. Sound is everywhere. Most of it that's happening we don't hear. But there's a saying, beautiful saying, that the first flute was a gift of the woodpecker to the wind. So the woodpecker pecks the hole, the wind blows through, the music is created. So the sound is everywhere. And Allah has made sound part of the reality that surrounds us within and without. So sound is being generated within us, sound is being generated without us. We are in sound, whether we want to be in sound or not, because there is no silence. Silence is not possible.
And some people can't stand silence. Today they don't.
There is quiet, but there's no silence, because everything is making noise, whether it's in your hearing level or not. So we're in sound. And may Allah, enable us to just recognize and respect and honor sound, the sound of the malaik, the sound of the birds, the sound of the wind, the sound of the water, just sound. And the sound of our own hearts, trying to speak to us, our own inner voices trying to speak to us, to honor, because the more that you honor, the more that comes. As Allah Ta'ala said in Quran, وَلَئِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَعَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. If you're grateful to me, I'm going to give you more. So be grateful for the ability to hear, because everybody doesn't have it, and then to be grateful for the sounds that are provided, and to say, Allah, from the sounds that we don't want to hear, and that we look forward to the Jannah when we will hear nothing but pleasantness. So, but to be grateful and to just understand it. This is something that is part of our reality. So,